Hello YouTube, Choo Choo Dino here, and this time I am coming at you with monster biology. Now last time I said that we were going to do Rodan, and gosh darn it, we definitely will be. So, Rodan, the terror of the skies. His height is that of 100 meters, or 328 feet tall, with a wingspan of 200 meters, which is 656 feet tall, and has a weight of 30,000 tons. Eh, Pretty impressive size, if I do say so myself. Rodan's first appearance was that in his own film in 1956, named after him, Rodan. And in that film, he actually was pretty special in that film because instead of one of him, there was two of him, a male and a female, which I will be getting to later on in the episode. He's also one of the very few kaijus which are able to fly, naming a few others being like King Ghidorah, Kamakiris, and Megaguirus. So, yeah, flying giant pterodactyl, which, by the way, he actually is mostly based off of. You can already tell with his first look being that based off of a pteranodon, which are not dinosaurs. They are giant flying lizards. Um, yeah, shocker, I know. If you guys want a better explanation on why he is not a dinosaur, take a look in the description below. I will leave you a video that will lead you to SciShow's episode about dinosaurs. But with that out of the way, let's get to the structure of this creature. So, man, how do we figure this one out? Well, as I already explained in the first episode with Godzilla, a creature of said size would need to have a bone and muscular structure of immense power. Meaning that if you want to, just stand up without turning into mulch, you would need, very sturdy bones. That, however, would be very contradictory to those who want to fly. You see, birds and insects, the reason why they're so small is because it's easier in order to fly around. Like, how else are they all gonna fly? Of course, there are large animals that do fly today, such as the bald eagle, which can grow to a pretty nice size, but nothing has been able in order to get to the same size as Quetzalcoatlus, an ancient pteranodon that existed around the same time period as the dinosaurs, ranging to 18 feet tall, the size of a giraffe. Yeah, try getting that out of your head. But besides that, that's actually all we can think of for Rodan. His main bone structure would have to be that of hollow, but still strong enough in order to withstand against super high speeds and a massive amount of wing power. Uh, right, so, what's that mean? Well, that means, whatever Rodan's made of, it's definitely tough. Alright then, his other features including that of his wings, which allow him to achieve flight. He has some spikes on his belly, which most likely are used for self-defense. And, well, that's basically all there is to Rodan. I mean, I'm sorry, guys, there just isn't anything else interesting to Rodan's design. It's all just a giant pteranodon, which is, like on a million times bigger scale. However, there are other things to him that are special, such as his defense mechanisms. Well, with his, giant size and his wings, you'd be surprised that he actually is able to break the sound barrier. And he also makes his own distinct humming sound when he's flying above certain creatures and humans. His wings also are extremely powerful enough to make gale force winds, destroying buildings and pushing back other giant monsters. In the film Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla number 2, he gets a second ability, which is called his transformation into Fire Rodan, which allows him to shoot off a radiation heat beam, similar to that of Godzilla's Gamma Burst, or Atomic Breath. However, another thing that's very interesting about Rodan is that he's immune to Godzilla's attack. I mean, he can be shot down, yes, but it doesn't, completely destroy him. He still is able to withstand the burst. But that most likely means that he is, basically heat proof. So ballistic missiles aren't really going to work on him. So now you're wondering, well, what else does this guy do? Well, besides that, that's actually pretty much it for his defense mechanisms. I mean, sure, he has his talons and his claws on his wings too, but what good are they unless you're actually, a land-based creature? However, he also has those spikes on his belly, which I mentioned earlier. So since he moves at super high speeds, it is most likely that he uses those spikes on his stomach and flies above his opponent to cut them from above. So, yeah, that's actually a pretty good advantage. But again, a creature of this size being able to fly is just terrifying and preposterous. But hey, what can I say? I'm studying giant monsters. It doesn't get any more crazy than that. Appetite, or metabolism for this creature, must be similar to that of Godzilla's, but on a more smaller basis. I mean, you're not going to see Rodan swoop on down and pick up a blue whale. He's most likely going to get a bottlenose dolphin or a killer whale, if he's lucky enough. And we see this in Godzilla Destroy All Monsters, I think it's the 20th anniversary film. So his life cycle, which we actually learn a lot more in the his original film, is that similar to Godzilla, except it's a very, very better start. Like, he's nearly the size of a car, or like imagine a small truck. Also, they grow at a very extremely fast rate. This is of course shown in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. Although we never really get to see if Rodan did hatch from that second egg, but see the film for yourself, guys. It'll tell you a lot. So, right. So life cycle, basically, we got Rodan coming out of an egg, grows super fast. And what about mating when it comes to reproduction? Well, unlike Godzilla, where Rodan possibly, where Godzilla can reproduce by himself, Rodan probably needs a mate. He also shows this through having a lifelong relationship with another one of its own kind, another Rodan. This must mean that they have the same kind of relationship, they have the same kind of instinct as turtle doves, or those birds that you see at weddings. When they find a mate, they stay with them for their entire lifespan. In fact, if you kill off one of their mates, they actually will mourn over them and they will not look for another mate. I know, sad guys, sorry. So, in conclusion, that happens to be all that I know for Rodan. If you guys got any more information on Rodan, please let me know down in the comments, and then go ahead and leave a comment in the video as well for what monster you think I should do next. I do have one monster and maybe a few more in the works right now, but if there is a monster you really want me to do, just let me know. Don't forget to press that like button and subscribe for more. This is Choo Choo Dino signing out.